To remove the top and bottom bolts on the alternator, what you're going to use is a 16mm with a 3-inch extension, and I'm using a 1/2-inch drive to make it easier for me. And you do the first do the bottom one, and then do the top one. To remove the lower idler pulley, the easiest thing to do is take a T50 with an adapter from a 3/8 to a 1/2-inch drive to a long breaker bar. That's going to be much easier to do than with a regular 3/8 drive. Okay guys, so the next thing you're going to do is use a T50 Torx to get that tensioner loose clockwise, remove the belt from the pulley on the alternator, and then remove that lower idler pulley right there. It's also a T50. Comparing the two units side by side, you guys can notice the differences. Here's the OE unit with the original part number for you. It's an original BMW unit, lasted 100,000 miles until it just went out today out of nowhere, and it is obviously manufactured by Bosch. On my M6 it's made by Vallejo is the OEM number, so I would recommend the Vallejo unit. I think they're better quality than Bosch. But here is the new unit. You can see they just kind of like they painted like the coils in orange to make it resemble copper, which it probably is copper, but anyway, it's like super cheap. I hope it works. I really don't want to go to the store again and change this out. So following that, after you're completed, what you're going to do is first of all, before doing anything, disconnect the battery negative terminal. What you're going to do is remove a 17mm power cable off the rear of the alternator, and then the clip, this guy, which is going to be just a this is a connector for the power. I believe this is the power. This is actually what sends the ECU the signal from the battery. So remove both of these first before taking the bolts off or the tensioner. So top bolt, bottom bolt. Bottom bolt is longer, top bolt is shorter. Here's the extension, 3-inch extension with the 16mm, and now the alternator is free. So what we have to do is basically, engine's really hot here. I should have let it cool off, but in a bit of a rush. So what you do is you just wiggle it out like that, and it comes out. So here is going to be, ouch, that is hot. That's the old alternator, and then here's the new battery I'm putting in, and then here is the new one. You're going to want to get either a Vallejo unit or a Bosch if you can't find the Vallejo. I was in a rush, so I had no choice but to get this crappy Carquest one. It's a reman out of Mexico, so probably will last, I don't know, 20-30,000 miles, if that. This is about $110 I paid for it after the discount. The Vallejo one is closer to like, I want to say like $250. Definitely go with the Vallejo one. In my case, again, I'm in a rush, so I'm going to use this one here. For the battery, guys, super simple on these E60s. You just take this, lift this floor up, move this panel out the way. There's a few clips there, and there, and there. 10mm bolts, 10mm for the negative, 10mm over there for the positive, and a 13mm for this long bracket there. One bolt there. One bolt there, whole battery will come out, put the new battery in, and that's it. By the way, guys, I want to show you on these batteries. This is the platinum battery from Autocraft. H9 group size AGM, has 950 cold cranking amps. This is the original BMW, has 850. So this one technically is a bit stronger. It's always nice to have a bigger battery in the vehicle, as if this one isn't already big enough. They're huge. All the BMW batteries are huge, but same reversal. There's just one bracket here I forgot to show you guys that holds the actual battery in place. It's a 10mm bracket. There's two holes for it there, so you can put either size, the bigger one or the smaller one. Okay guys, so the reverse installation already installed, but same thing, two 16mm bolts, shorter one on top, put some WD-40 in there to make it go in easier, top and bottom. Put the top one in first, bottom one after. After that's completed, you're going to do your pulley right there, the one in the bottom, T50. Go ahead and use the same method I showed you to remove it with the 1/2 inch breaker bar. It's much easier, just don't over tighten it because you can't strip the threads. Then you're gonna attach this back power cable. Use a little bit of the dielectric grease in there to prevent any corrosion in the future. And then last but not least, put that connector on there. And then what you're gonna do to put the belt back on, which was a pain in the ass, but all you do right there, that one, have somebody, I did it by myself, but it would be so much easier with two people. Take that, push it clockwise to loosen tension on it. I'm also putting a new belt on here. As you can see, it's all cracked, but loosen tension on here. And then what you'll do is you slide it around this bottom piece first on this end, and then over, this is the hard part right here where it slides over here. So get it, just have somebody to push it, and then you can work the belt onto the alternator. So that's basically it. Relatively simple repair. Next would be the battery. So here's how we're going to check if our alternator is working. We're going to use a multimeter. So here's how we're going to check if our alternator is working. We're going to connect both ends, and we are getting about 14 volts. So this is with the vehicle running, so we're good. Before we're getting like 8, so the alternator was not charging at all. The other issue I had was the transmission would go into fail-safe mode, and it would just cause a bunch of codes and error messages. So next I'm going to go for a test drive and see if the transmission issue is resolved. That's the most important thing for me. Okay guys, so what we have here is I had a bunch of codes pop up. First, starting off with the passenger restraint system, which is the airbag light. Then we got the red brake light come on as well. Check engine light did not go on. Then we had traction control light come on, the DSC stability control light come on, which are the yellow lights in the middle of the dash. Just quickly scanning the codes, have a bunch of codes as well. Wheel speed sensor, brake pad wear, which I just replaced rear brakes, so I have to reset that. DSC control unit over voltage, wheel speed sensor general, wheel speed sensor front, EMC right, front left, rear right, control unit over voltage. So what we're going to do is erase those codes, yes. Then we're going to go into body, airbag, read codes, message error, wheel speed from dynamic stability control, DSC, SIM receiver, DSC transmitter. It says not present at the moment, but okay. So we're going to erase that. Again, I'm hoping that all this was caused by a bad alternator. Yes. Let's see if we came back. No faults. Okay. Back. Chassis. DC brake pad wear. Yeah, so this is normal. This is I need a new brake pad sensor in the rear, so that should come back. Yes. See if there's any engine codes. Had the same thing happen on my S6 where a bad alternator and a bad battery caused a bunch of crazy stuff to happen. I mean, just every code you could imagine. I think I had like 20 codes because of a bad alternator. Codes found 1, okay. Module, read codes, stored codes, none. Oh, vehicle specific, BMW, please refer to P1890. Okay. Pending. P1890. Erase codes. Erase it down. Okay, so now we're going to start the vehicle and see if it starts. Hopefully it starts. So it did start, but the airbag light is not off, so I have to look into that. For an E60 alternator replacement, real quick and easy, just want to show you guys for the M54 model, which is the earlier years, for the airbox, don't even take the top cover off. You're going to take these Torx bolts off. There's going to be 1, 2 there. I'll leave that one in place. Undo this one. It's going to be I don't know, I think it's like a 7 or 8 millimeter. Loosen that right there. Wiggle this off, undo the MAF sensor. Then you're going to have 2 of these Torx bolts. These are going to be T30s. There's going to be 1 there. There's going to be 1 there. The whole airbox will actually lift off. Just want to let you guys know that Carquest alternator was a piece of crap. I should have just bought an OEM Bosch unit because I had to take everything back apart, buy this Bosch unit, wait online for it for 4 days with the car not being drivable, and now I can actually put this thing inside. But yeah, spend the extra money, get the right part, because then you're going to do twice the work like I'm doing now. And I'm also putting in a new belt because that belt is pretty bad condition and it looks cracked. You guys, to get that accessory belt on, easiest thing to do, take your star-shaped bit, take these pliers, you know, they're the pliers that hold themselves, and then get a tight grip on there. You have very little room here unless you want to take off this whole radiator fan. And then take a screwdriver and push that tightener pulley all the way down. And then what you'll do is like take your arm here like this. You're going to reach in, and while that's being tightened, you're going to slip it over the pulley right there. That pulley over there, and then you're going to go over the other pulley right here. See right there? You're going to do that one first in the middle, then this one. In the back of your E60 here, you're going to see the battery. What you're going to want to do after alternator replacement is is you're going to test the voltage. You should be getting between 13.8, 13.9 to 14.1, 14.2 maybe. But you're not going to want to have any fluctuations going below like 13.6 or above 14.4, let's say. If you're going more than 14.3 volts, 14.4, you have a voltage regulator that's faulty. Also, what you're going to want to do is just let it run like this and just watch this for like 5, 10, 15 minutes. Turn the AC on, turn the radio on, and make sure that this voltage under load stays right around 14 or like 13.9, something like that. If it drops, like what happened with that crappy Carquest alternator, I had 14 and then under load it would drop to like 13.2, 13.1, but then it would shoot back up again. So I had to replace it with this OEM Bosch unit. Yeah, so just make sure to check them. Again, we checked 3 alternators at Advanced Auto Parts with those Carquest one. All 3 were new and all 3 were bad. So that tells you something about the quality of these things. Spend a little bit more money, get an OEM unit, and you'll be good to go. You guys, the easiest way to put on a belt is to take your 1/2-inch drive star socket, put full tension on the tensioner, then wedge something in between here so that it just stays open for you while you have 2 hands to route the belt, and then slip it over the alternator, which is the hardest part. I don't know if you guys can see, but it goes all the way like that. On the bottom, it goes over those 2 big pulleys. I think one of them's the air compressor. Over this guy, this way, over that little idler pulley, and down. And then we're also gonna put this guy back, this new one.